Let's see key fact of dihybrid and monohybrid crosses. Monohybrid cross, it studies one pair of contrasting characters, while dihybrid cross, it studies two pairs of contrasting characters. Then in monohybrid cross, F1 generation, all are heterozygous, that is capital T, small t. And then F2 generation, phenotypic ratio is 3:1, that is 3 tall and 1 dwarf. While genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, that is capital T is 1, then capital T small t is 2, and small t, that is what 1. Okay. And then about dihybrid cross, and here the F1 generation, it is capital R small r, then capital Y small y. Okay, so the gametes are capital R capital Y, capital R small r capital Y, and small r small y. And the Punnett square, the boxes, it is about 16. Okay, and the number of gametes produced is what? 4 types of gametes. And then F2 generation, the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. That is round yellow, that is 9, and round green, that is 3, and then wrinkled yellow, it is again 3, and wrinkled green is what? 1. Okay. This is the cross, monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. So the number of phenotype in dihybrid cross, that is 4, and the number of genotype in dihybrid cross, that is about 9. Okay. And the law proved from monohybrid cross, 2 laws are there. One is law of segregation and one more, that is law of dominance. And then the law introduced from dihybrid cross, that is law of independent assortment. Then about test cross ratio, in monohybrid cross it is 1:1, and dihybrid cross it is 1:1:1:1. Okay. Let's conclude. Monohybrid cross, it is the study of one pair of contrasting characters, while dihybrid cross, 2 pairs of contrasting characters. And then the number of gametes produced, equation is there, 2n, where n is the number of heterozygous pairs. And then monohybrid F2 phenotypic ratio is 3:1, and monohybrid F2 genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, and dihybrid F2 phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. Okay. And then Punnett square, it is 16 boxes, and then about the test cross ratio of monohybrid and dihybrid cross. And then the genotypic ratio of dihybrid cross is actually 1:2:2:1:4:2:1:2:1. So this is the genotypic ratio of what? Dihybrid cross. But you need to learn only the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross. Okay. So the first question, in pea plants, tall is dominant over dwarf. Heterozygous tall plant is crossed with dwarf plant. What is the phenotypic ratio? So heterozygous tall plant means what? Capital T, small t. That is the heterozygous tall into what? Dwarf plant, small t, small t. So here 2 gametes, capital T as well as small t, and here the one type, that is small t. So the cross is capital T, small t, and then what? Small t, small t. Okay. So the ratio is what? So this is tall and what? This is dwarf, right? So the phenotypic ratio is what? 1:1. 1 tall is to 1 dwarf. So option B, that is the correct answer. Or 50% tall and 50% dwarf. Okay. Next question, the genotypic ratio in F2 generation of monohybrid cross is what? 1:2:1. Option B. 2 heterozygous round-seeded pea plants, that is capital R small r and capital R small r, are crossed. Probability of wrinkled seed. So capital R small r and capital R small r. Okay. So here 2 gametes, capital R and then small r. Here also 2 gametes, capital R and small r. So the ratio is capital R, and then here capital R, small r, and then here capital R, small r, and then what? Small r, small r. So the probability of wrinkled seed is what? 25%. That is 1/4, which is 25%. Okay. So option B. Next question, which law is demonstrated by the separation of alleles during gamete formation? That is law of segregation. Option C. Homozygous dominant means what? Capital T into, it is crossed with homozygous recessive, that is small t, F1 will be. So here what? Capital T, and here what? Small t, and F1 will be capital T, small t, that is heterozygous what? Tall plant. All heterozygous dominant. Option C. And then a dihybrid cross between this produces what phenotypic ratio? Capital R small r, capital Y small y, then capital R small r, capital Y small y. This is the dihybrid cross, and here the phenotypic ratio is what? Option C, 9:3:3:1. in capital R, capital Y, small y, and how many different gametes are produced. This thing we discussed. How many gametes will be produced? Option B, 4 gametes will be produced. That is, the gametes are capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. That is how many gametes? 4 types of gametes. Then in a dihybrid cross, the probability of getting capital R, capital Y, small y is, and this is wrinkled green, right? So the ratio is 9:3:3:1, right? So the probability is what? It's 1/16. So option C. Next question, around yellow seeds, that is this one, are test crossed with small r, small y, small y. The phenotypic ratio, it is the phenotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross. It is what? 1:1:1:1. So option B. The law of independent assortment applies to genes located on different homologous chromosomal pairs. Option C. A plant with genotype capital A, small a, and capital B, small b produces how many genetically different gametes? A formula is there, that is 2^n, where n is the heterozygous pairs. So how many pairs? 2 pairs here, right? So 2^n, that is 2^2. 2^2 is what? 2 into 2, that is 4. So the answer is for option B. Capital T, small t, and capital T, small t, the probability of homozygous offspring. So this is actually the monohybrid cross, and we already know the genotypic ratio, that is 1:2, then 2:1, right? So this is homozygous, right? That is capital T, and this one is also homozygous, that is small t. So it is 2/4, right? So 2/4 means what? Half, that is 50%. Clear? So the probability is half, 1/2. Option B. The direct question, how many boxes are present in Punnett square for dihybrid cross? Option C, 16. Then capital R, capital Y, small y, and capital R, capital Y, small y. What is the probability of offspring with dominant phenotype? So dominant phenotype means what? Capital R, capital Y, right? So this is a dominant phenotype, and dominant phenotype is 9. So here also we know the ratio, 9:3:3:1. And this 9 is around yellow, and then this 3 is around green, and this thing is wrinkled yellow, and this thing is wrinkled green. Okay, so the dominant phenotype, that is capital R, capital Y, that is 9. So 9/16. Option B. The question, which statement is correct? A monohybrid cross studies 2 traits. No, that is wrong. Dihybrid cross proves segregation only. No, it proved independent assortment. Monohybrid cross studies 1 contrasting characters. That is correct. And dihybrid cross gives 3:1. No, 9:3:3:1. So option C, that is the correct answer.